Once a month we have my husband's family over for a family dinner. His family consists of a few brothers and sisters, his mom and dad, and his nieces and nephews. We also have a few children of our own. When we have our dinners, almost everyone shows up except for the parents of his nieces and nephews. They have, for every single one of the past dinners, been taking the opportunity to go and have date night and been using me as their babysitter without asking. The rest of his family neglects to watch the kids, so I'm stuck watching not only my children, who are all below the age of 5, but also my husband's nieces and nephews, who are all also below the age of 5. Together there are 6 children under 5 under my care alone because no one else will take the time to watch them. At this most recent dinner, all the other kids were sick. We were given a heads up and my husband asked his siblings not to drop the kids off. Dinner starts and all of the sick kids walk in through the door with my husband's mom and dad. And once again, the kids' parents decide to stay home and have a date night. Now, me and our kids are sick and they missed out on Halloween due to their sickness. In a fit of fever-induced irritation, I sent his nieces and nephews' parents a text letting them know that they're not allowed to bring the kids over while they're sick, and that the kids aren't allowed to come over for the dinners unless the parents are also there with them to watch over their own kids. My exact text was, "Hey brother-in-law and sister-in-law, please don't drop off the kids at our house anymore unless you're planning on staying to supervise them. I have my own kids to watch and I'm not up for watching over yours too. Also, do not bring your kids over if they're sick. Illnesses happen, but my kids missed out on Halloween because you brought them over when we asked you not to. I hope to see your family at the next dinner." Now all the adults in the situation are angry. My husband's younger siblings agree that it's irritating to have so many kids and not enough supervisors, so I feel like I'm in the right. It shouldn't be my responsibility to watch over other people's kids. I'm offering my home and food during these dinners, but I'm not offering free babysitting service. Exactly. Your brother-in-law and sister-in-law have been taking advantage of you. They can hire a babysitter. And don't get me started on the sick kids thing. I missed out on enjoying 10 days of Christmas vacation because my sister dropped her sick kid off with my mom when I was visiting, and I got sick as a dog. You're not the idiot. Who sends sick kids over for dinner? Entitled parents. The sheer audacity to expect the host to babysit is infuriating, but sick kids are beyond. Honestly, I wouldn't host anymore, and next time one of the siblings hosted an event, I would drop my kids off and leave for date night. Play stupid games and win stupid prizes. But OP, I think you need to hop in your car right now and head over to brother and sister-in-law and sit up close and personal while you explain this all to them in detail. Take your time with it so they really get it. And I think your husband needs to be doing a lot more communicating with his family and also watching the children. Where is he in all of this? He definitely needs to be communicating more. He typically cooks the dinner, so I watch the kids. It's supposed to be a potluck-style dinner, but no one ever brings anything, so husbands are stuck cooking all the food. Oh, I know they're family, but they don't bring anything to the potluck, and you have to watch the kids? They don't respect you, full stop. Your husband needs to step up and lay down some ground rules. Either it's a potluck that the whole family participates in and parents are responsible for their children, or the gatherings stop. Give them one more chance with your clear expectations. If they follow the rules, fine. If not, the parties stop. I'd go as far as to say if your husband doesn't support you on this, then the moment the first guest arrives next time, you simply walk out the door, shut your phone off, and enjoy an evening to yourself. I personally would die on this hill as you've already tolerated so much disrespectful behaviour. Time to cancel it entirely though. They're all freeloading. Long story short, I, now 22 female, was removed from my mother's house and placed with my grandparents across the country when I was 14. My sister, Jane, now 28, was 19 and had already moved out. When I was 16, Jane got married and I was invited. I travelled with my grandmother. I was on perfect behaviour until the reception. Guests kept giving me alcohol and I ended up making out with one of the bartenders in a storage room somewhere. We were found, commotion happened and I was kicked out along with Grandma. My sister came out to yell at me for intentionally sabotaging her wedding. She disowned me then and there. She blocked me on everything and refused to talk to me. It's been 6 years since then and she only just started trying to talk to me again, but I'm over it. I stopped trying to get through to her years ago. Her message was a total pity party. It was all me, her, and how bad she's been feeling, etc. I just responded that I have no interest in talking to her. She then dropped the bombshell that she's pregnant and wants to patch things up with everyone before the baby's born. I said no and left it at that. I blocked her a few days later after she kept messaging me, but her husband, and weirdly his sister, kept messaging me no matter how many times I blocked them. My grandma told me to get over it and patch things up, and that I was making everything worse by being so smarmy. She told me that she also got a text from Jane and has communicated with her as she wants to be a part of the baby's life. Am I the idiot responsible for fixing this? Your sister is the one who threw this relationship away. Now she's trying to dig it out of the trash after 6 years because she'll have a baby? Not because she realized she was wrong or wanted to make amends, but because she's pregnant. No. It's not your job to fix a relationship your sister was fine with destroying. The fundamental issue is that the sister decided cutting OP out of her life was a morally correct or even proportional response to what happened, which is just actually insane. Who does that to their sibling? Adults were giving their underage sibling drinks. OP is being punished for crap they didn't even do, consent to, and had no life experience to use to be able to navigate. Every single adult failed OP here, and it's gross. With babies come baby showers. Someone's going to throw it and ask for contact details of all relatives, and then it's going to become public in the sister's friend group that OP is estranged. And if it comes out why OP is estranged, the sister will look bad to people. OP, this isn't about your sister having a change of heart. This is about reputation and damage control, and not losing face in front of her friends. And also probably about having you available to babysit so she can get a break. My ex and I divorced when our kids were young. The kids are tween and teen now. We've been divorced for 7 years now. We have 50-50 custody and she remarried, so spousal support is done. Her new husband recently left her. I don't know and I'm not interested in the particulars. In my opinion, he didn't seem like a terrible guy and he left at their house. Once again, I have no idea of debt load or anything like that. She called me last week to see if I could help her with some food. She said that she'd run through her budget for food for her and the kids and basically begged me to help her out. I asked her to give me a few minutes and I'd call her back. I talked to my girlfriend who lives with me and we agreed that we could spare some food. We have a freezer full of elk, venison and wild hog, as well as a well-stocked pantry. We also have beef, pork and chicken. I called my ex back and told her to come by and pick up a big load of groceries. This is where it got weird. She said she didn't want groceries. She wanted me to give her money for Uber Eats or something. I said no, I have 2 weeks worth of food that you can have, but I'm not giving you money for takeout. She called me an idiot for expecting her to be grateful for my scraps and expecting her to be all domestic. Everything I was going to give her was either frozen meat, canned veggies, fresh vegetables from the garden, or pasta and rice in unopened bags. I want my kids to eat well. My kids hunt and my son, the older one, is a pretty good cook. He regularly makes meals for all of us at my house. Both kids eat game meat as well as store-bought. I honestly thought I was doing what she asked. I told my girlfriend not to bother packing anything up. I texted both kids and told them to let me know if they were actually going hungry and I would take care of everything. Both kids texted back and said there was food in the house, it just needed to be prepared. They also said that if I were willing to spare some of the elk and hog roasts, they would take them. I laughed and said I would take them over later. My ex, however, is telling everyone that I'm trying to manipulate her into behaving like a housewife and refusing to buy food for my kids. Some people are taking her side and saying that I'm an idiot for not helping her out. 100% honesty. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but am I missing something? Not the idiot, and you're being very generous. It's good that you followed up with the kids to make sure they're being taken care of while they're there. As for the people bad-mouthing you, you don't owe your ex-wife anything. You are divorced. She is not your problem. Anyone who reaches out to you about it, I tell them, I offered to give her free groceries so that she and my children would have food, and she said no because she already has groceries and wants to order Uber Eats instead and wants me to pay for it. Please feel free to donate your money to her lifestyle if you want, but I no longer need to. There's no reason to be giving her money. She asked for help with food, and you were readily willing to give her some of your food. But she doesn't want or need help with food. She wants or needs money. With 50-50 custody, you shouldn't have to give her any money. If she absolutely needs it, she will have to apply for government benefits. She's being ridiculous. She doesn't want to cook, that's fine, and I get it. but to be so lazy you would rather spend an extra $30 for the delivery, the tip, and the random extra expenses that food delivery apps tack on instead of just going to the place yourself to pick up the meals is idiotic when you're expecting it on someone else's dime. Am I the only one who has the sneaking suspicion the ex isn't just planning on using that money for food, because it seems like your kids aren't as distressed as your ex makes them out to be, and that there is some food in the house? I come from a pretty close family. My brother married Liz about 11 years ago and they have 4 kids. Liz is not an easy person to get along with, but people in my family try hard for the sake of my nephews, who are the nicest kids ever. Liz and I don't have much of a relationship and I'm cool with that. My younger brother, 22, Dylan, has lived with me since he got out of jail and rehab. He had a very traumatic event, and when people found out, he was bullied a lot. More than me when people figured out I was gay. I've gotten into plenty of dust-ups protecting him and don't give a damn. Dylan is not some dangerous person, he's quite square and reminds me a lot of my nephews. I went to my nephew's tween birthday party last weekend, and the topic of Thanksgiving came up. My brother suggested just doing it at our parents' house. Liz asked if Dylan was going to come. I thought how thoughtful of her to think of him. She knows he had some issues and was putting a genuine effort into getting his life back on the rails. He got a job at Subway, complying with his probation, taking treatment seriously, and wants to go to college when he's done. Sure, he's been aloof in the past and now he welcomes support. He sort of went underground over the shame and trauma of his past. I said I'm sure he'll come. Liz said she didn't want her kids around a felon. I said he's not a thief or someone you can't trust, Liz. Take it down a notch. She said, but he's a felon and an addict, and everyone knows. I said, yes, he is, and you're a witch, and everyone knows that. She got mad and said, do not talk to me that way. I said, then watch your mouth. If you don't want him around your kids, then that's your choice, but don't act like you're perfect or important because you're not. My brother jumped in and said, don't talk to my wife like that. I said I'll talk to her or you however I want. I mean, we can go behind the parking lot if you like. My other sister-in-law said it was time to separate. I said I'm good and I'm out. Bye, Liz. See you at Thanksgiving. 6 days later and it's Friday and my brother texted me. He said I scared his wife and he wanted me to apologize to her. I said, but of course, after she apologizes, acting like a stuck-up witch. He said she's not going to apologize to me. I said, well, then you can tell her that I said she can screw herself, or you can come down here and make me apologize. It's a shame because my brother and I used to be tight. Now my brother said this isn't an episode of Jerry Springer and be serious. I made Liz cry. Boo-hoo. Everyone's the idiot here. I get that you don't care for her and you're only standing up for your brother, who sounds like he's working hard to get his life back on track. She sounds judgmental and unforgiving. But how you went about it wasn't the best way to do it. We all say things in the heat of the moment that can't be unsaid. There are better ways to defend your brother and support him. Everyone here got heated and said things that shouldn't have been said. You are the idiot. Go behind the parking lot, come down here and make me apologize. LOL, how old are you? Liz won't be the only person to have an opinion about your brother's past, incarceration and rehab. You should take it down a notch and learn how to advocate for your brother. You're not helping him or protecting him with your attitude. Dylan will just be the ex-con with a hot-headed idiot brother. If you can't handle the conversations about your brother or get control of your temper, then just walk away. Exactly, thank you. And to be honest, the sister-in-law wasn't even that bad. All she said was true and that she didn't want her kids around him. This kid made the whole argument heated. OP is just using his brother as an excuse to behave like an idiot. OP is only making Dylan's life harder by helping him. No one needs this kind of help. Thanksgiving should be interesting for this family. I have a sister who's 25. I'll call her Tessa. I'm going to be blunt and say I look better than her. It's due to her not taking care of herself at all. When I was staying active, she was not. I spent my money to get skincare and keep my hair nice. She doesn't, and she doesn't dress nicely either. She's always in sweats, even going somewhere nice. Overall, I look better than her. She has the money to do these things, she just doesn't. Now every time I see her, she'll comment something about the way I look. If I tell a story that turns out good for me, she'll tell me it's because I'm pretty and so on. I assume she's jealous and I've talked to her about it. Now I just passed my test to get my license for my job. I was telling the story at dinner and she told me I passed since I was pretty. Makes no sense. I had enough and told her to stop saying I have the pretty privilege and that it's her fault that she looks ugly, not mine. She left the table after calling me an idiot and my family is split. Not the idiot, your sister seems insufferably insecure. If she won't take care of her vanity, she reaps what she sowed. Maybe give her some skincare tips like getting sleep and staying hydrated, and maybe even recommend a facial moisturizer for her. Giving her a solution to her problem might raise her self-esteem. If she doesn't take that advice and run with it, then that's her problem fully. She no longer has a valid reason to complain about you being prettier than her. Family torn? Tell them you tried helping her with their health and skincare. They can't complain then. Jealousy is hideous anyway. Everyone's the idiot here. She is wrong and jealous, that's clear. But you didn't have to call her ugly, that was rude too. As a fellow conventionally pretty girl, you have to admit there are times when being pretty does play in your favour, though LOL, which doesn't make you an idiot. It's just the way of the world. Being stuck up about your looks isn't a good look on anyone, so you might consider taking it down a notch. On the whole, your post doesn't paint you in a good light, in my opinion. Someone who chooses not to take care of her appearance and puts OP down continuously with pretty privilege is insulted when it's pointed out that she chooses to be ugly. No one called her ugly. I have a sister who pulls the dame's crap about weight. I exercise and diet to keep my weight reasonable. She doesn't and always makes comments. When she complains, I just tell her the only thing I have that she doesn't have is the power to do things that need to get done. Then, of course, she starts crying and playing the victim.